Machiavelli understood what most never grasp. Saying no creates power. While others rush to accept every opportunity, the true strategist knows each yes weakens them. To refuse is not rudeness. It's preservation of resources, defense of your time, and protection of your focus. In the games of power, Machiavelli studied, those who cannot say no become tools for those who can. Niccolo Machiavelli, 1469 to 1527, was an Italian diplomat and political theorist whose works revolutionized political thinking. His most famous book, The Prince, written in 1513, is a practical guide for rulers that broke with traditional moral philosophy by focusing on how power actually works rather than how it should work. In this slim but influential volume, Machiavelli offered pragmatic, often ruthless advice to princes seeking to acquire and maintain political power in a dangerous world of rivals and threats. Society trains us to say yes. From childhood, we're rewarded for agreeing and punished for refusing. This conditioning creates perfect victims for those who understand Machiavelli's wisdom. The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, he noted in The Prince, and nothing appears weaker than desperate acceptance. A ruler doesn't gain power by accepting every alliance or pursuing every conquest. He selects his battles carefully. Consider how quickly people surrender their time to anyone who asks. They attend pointless meetings, take on unrewarding projects, maintain draining relationships. Machiavelli would view this not as politeness, but as surrender. When you cannot say no, you become a resource for others to exploit. History shows us this pattern repeatedly. The greatest empires fell not from external attacks alone, but from internal overextension, saying yes to too many conquests, too many commitments, too many wars on too many fronts. Rome's decline began when it could no longer say no to expansion. The most effective leaders, by contrast, were those who knew when to refuse, when to decline a battle, when to reject an alliance, when to abandon a territory too costly to defend. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him, Machiavelli wrote. But equally revealing is what a ruler rejects, which alliances he declines, which traditions he abandons. Your refusals define you more clearly than your acceptances. Those who cannot say no have no boundaries, no shape, no substance. Machiavelli famously tells us that it is better to be feared than loved. This applies perfectly to refusal. Those who say yes to everything may be temporarily liked, but never respected or truly valued. Their agreement becomes worthless because it is so easily obtained. What costs nothing holds no worth. The executive answering emails at midnight, the friend who drops everything when called, the professional taking every project, these aren't signs of dedication, but of weakness. They reveal an inability to prioritize or protect what matters. In his writings, Machiavelli consistently criticized leaders who failed to distinguish between vital interests and distractions. Look at your own life. How many commitments have you made out of habit rather than intention? How many relationships do you maintain from obligation rather than choice? How many meetings do you attend? Messages do you answer? Requests do you fulfill solely because you lack the courage to refuse? Your calendar, your debts, your obligations, all are records of your inability to say no. The powerful understand this intuitively. Notice how difficult it is to access them, to claim their time, to secure their commitment. This scarcity is rarely accidental. It is the deliberate cultivation of value through refusal. Like precious metals, they derive worth partly from their rarity. The more selective they are with their time and energy, the more valuable those resources become. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves, wrote Machiavelli in The Prince. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. Saying no requires both, the fox's ability to see hidden costs, and the lion's courage to stand firm against pressure. Consider how requests are framed to make refusal difficult. It will only take a minute. Everyone else is doing it. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. I thought we were friends. These are traps for those who lack the fox's perception. They obscure the real costs of agreement and exploit social conditioning to bypass rational consideration. Those who master refusal understand its power. A well-placed no creates more intrigue than an eager yes. When you refuse what others accept without question, you create mystery. People wonder, what standards guide your decisions? What do you know that they don't? What makes you confident enough to decline what they seek? In negotiations, this principle becomes even clearer. The party most willing to walk away, to say no, holds the greater power. Those desperate for agreement will concede point after point, sacrificing value to avoid refusal. Those comfortable with saying no can maintain their position, waiting for better terms or walking away entirely if necessary. Notice how the truly powerful use refusal. They don't attend every gathering, respond to every message, or address every criticism. This selective engagement isn't laziness, it's strategy. In Discourses on Livy, Machiavelli analyzed how Rome's most effective leaders concentrated their efforts rather than dispersing them, saying no to lesser priorities. The modern obsession with accessibility, with being constantly available through technology, would horrify Machiavelli. To be reachable at all hours, responsive to all messages, available for all requests, is to surrender a fundamental form of power. It is to declare that your time and attention have no special value, that they need not be earned or respected. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, Machiavelli observed, meaning perception often matters more than reality. Strategic refusal creates perception of value and power. Those who accept every invitation appear desperate. Those who decline most seem valuable. Which perception would you rather create? In his political writings, Machiavelli saw how requests become weapons. Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims. Those who cannot say no become perfect victims, surrendering their power one agreement at a time. They mistake being useful for being valued, being busy for being important. Consider the language we use. We spend time as though it were currency. Yet unlike money, time cannot be earned back once spent. Those who understand this guard their time more carefully than their gold. They recognize each yes as an expenditure that must generate sufficient return to justify its cost. Our cultural narratives often celebrate those who say yes to everything, who take on impossible workloads, who sacrifice themselves for others, who never refuse a request for help. Yet examine the truly successful in any field. They are ruthlessly selective. They say no to most opportunities to focus intensely on a few. They understand that excellence requires elimination, that achievement demands refusal. Consider how rarely you hear powerful figures say, "I don't know," or "I'm not interested," or simply "no." This isn't coincidence. It's cause and effect. The ability to refuse creates power. The inability to refuse surrenders it. Each time you agree to something against your interests, you transfer your limited power to someone else's agenda. Warren Buffett, perhaps the greatest investor of our age, said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." This is Machiavellian wisdom in modern form. Success requires selectivity. Power demands refusal. In business, this principle is clear. Companies that say yes to every client request, every trend, every opportunity become unfocused and unprofitable. Those that carefully select their battles, saying no to distractions while focusing on core strengths, create both scarcity and excellence, the foundations of value. Apple under Steve Jobs exemplified this approach. While competitors said yes to every market demand, more features, more products, more variations, Jobs ruthlessly eliminated options. He said no to products, features, and designs that didn't meet his standards, focusing intensely on a few excellent offerings rather than many mediocre ones. This strategic refusal built one of history's most valuable companies. "A prince never lacks legitimate reasons to break his promise," Machiavelli wrote in The Prince. More important is knowing which promises to avoid. Each commitment becomes a potential vulnerability. The strategic mind doesn't break promises. It avoids unnecessary ones, preserving freedom to maneuver as circumstances change. Examine your recent decisions. How many were active choices? How many were passive acceptances of others' requests? In The Art of War, Machiavelli emphasized that all resources, whether military or personal, must be deployed selectively. A life of mostly passive acceptance is not one of power, but of servitude, regardless of title or wealth. The most elegant refusals require no explanation. No is a complete sentence. though few have the confidence to deliver it without justification. Adding reasons to a refusal often weakens it, providing openings for negotiation or manipulation. The powerful simply decline, offering no apology or explanation for their selectivity. The most dangerous requests appeal to vanity. Machiavelli warned, "Men are so self-complacent in their own affairs and indulge so much the deception of their own minds that they find it difficult to guard against these feelings." When someone says you're uniquely qualified for a task, question not just their motives, but your susceptibility to flattery. Often, what seems like an honor is merely an obligation in disguise. Notice how often flattery precedes requests. "You're so good at this. No one else could do this like you. We need your special talents." These appeals to ego bypass rational calculation. They transform refusal from a practical decision into a rejection of one's own excellence. The wise recognize this manipulation and remain unmoved by it. Consider the paradox. Those most capable of saying no rarely need to. Their boundaries are seldom tested because they've established a reputation for selectivity. Meanwhile, those known for accommodation face endless requests. Your past yeses create future obligations. Your past no's create future freedom. Even Machiavelli's life illustrates this principle. His greatest works were written not during his years of political service, when he said yes to endless obligations, but during his exile, when external circumstances forced selectivity upon him. Only when removed from constant demands could he create work of lasting significance. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present, wrote Machiavelli, acknowledging the realities of political expediency. But better than breaking promises is making fewer, more careful ones. The space created by refusal allows greater commitment to what truly matters. The calendar of a powerful person contains more blank space than that of a weak one. This is not coincidence but causation. The ability to preserve unscheduled time, to say no to demands that would fill every hour, creates space for thought, for strategy, for unexpected opportunity. It is the foundation of both wisdom and adaptation. And now, reviewing your own life. Are your days filled with commitments you actively chose or ones you passively accepted? Do you control your time, or do the expectations of others control it? Have you mastered the Machiavellian art of refusal, or do you still confuse accommodation with accomplishment? The ability to say no does not come naturally. It must be cultivated, practiced, strengthened like any skill. Begin with small refusals and build gradually to larger ones. Notice the discomfort of saying no and sit with it rather than escaping into agreement. Recognize that this discomfort is the sensation of power being reclaimed, of boundaries being established, of value being created. In a world frantically saying yes to everything, the quiet power of no remains the most undervalued currency. Machiavelli, despite writing 5 centuries ago, didn't teach refusal for its own sake, but as the foundation for strategic focus, preserved strength, and true rather than illusory power. The next time a request comes, consider not what you might gain by accepting, but what you will certainly lose. Your time, your energy, your freedom of action, all are finite resources that, once committed, cannot be recovered. Guard them, as Machiavelli would advise, with the cunning of a fox and the courage of a lion. Learn to say no.